Ancient Aliens streams on History Channel, the app, video on demand, plus the show is on a nationwide tour coming to the Rialto Square Theater in Joliet on November 5th. George A. Tsoukalos, ancient astronaut theorist, here to give us a preview. Thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about Ancient Aliens live, the roadshow.
This tour's beginning on September 14th in Seattle. I hear it's going to be a party. Tell us what we are going to experience.
You just said it. It'll be a party because that is exactly right. The reception by the fans at these events is something that the four of us, Childress, Taylor, William Henry, and Nick Pope, we had never would have expected the love and the raucous acceptance of us on stage. So it's an absolute party. The walls are shaking. And, this is something for the fans. We've decided to bring Ancient Aliens to the fans as a roadshow to various cities across the United States. And people are showing up in droves. And so it's a party out there. It's a community experience. And we can't wait to see you at one of these shows.
When I think of the U.S., I think Skinwalker Ranch, I think Washington, D.C., I think Colorado. But is there anything in the Midwest, especially when the Rialto Square Theater here in Joliet, are we going to get any Midwest stories as part of this live experience?
Hey, look, the Midwest, man, has a ton of UFO hotspots. So, I'm often surprised how it's considered flyover country and things like that, which it really isn't, because in many of these spots, there are many UFO sightings, and also you have sightings of Bigfoot and things like that. So, all you have to do is open your eyes and something will be there. We've just forgotten how to keep our eyes to the skies and keep our eyes, peeled into the woods. So we've all forgotten how to look. And I think it's time for us to turn on our eyes again.
And, you're saying look to the skies, but something else that fascinates me as well, too, and it's been part of the series, is the ocean and the lost city of Atlantis, and looking at metals and things that are at bottom there, because there's so much unexplored territory. Talk a little bit about that aspect.
Yeah, no, and what you've just mentioned, your observation is correct, that we currently know more about the surface of Mars than we know about the bottoms of our oceans. And if you think about that, that's pretty amazing, because 70% of our Earth is covered in water. So, what is at the bottom of our oceans? And the truth of the matter is that we don't know. And so who is to say that if an extraterrestrial civilization happens to have the technology to go and visit other civilizations or other planets elsewhere with intelligence, then where could you hide? Well, the bottom of the ocean would be one of the best places to hide. So, and if you're able to travel from one end of the galaxy to the other, I think building a base underwater is the least of your problems, technologically speaking. So it is a possibility. Now, am I saying that there are underground bases by extraterrestrials? Of course not. But is it a possibility? The answer to that is a resounding yes.
Another thing that fascinates me as well, too, the musical Hamilton is popular on Broadway. The touring production is coming to Chicago, and you think about the founding fathers and some of those stories. And then when I've seen the episode as far as how much of Washington, D.C. could have, some of these, influences, like it fascinates me.
Yeah, I mean, look, the entire Washington, the capital, is based on ancient geometric shapes. And this has something to do with a connection, a potential connection to ancient rituals and things like that. So it's definitely something that is interesting. Now, does it mean anything huge and significant? No, because oftentimes you can connect two lines and multiple lines with straight lines. So, the fact that we have certain streets in Washington aligned to certain things, sometimes even that can be coincidence. So, not everything is a conspiracy, by the way.
But it's good to talk about it, and it's interesting to theorize, and interesting to go and see it live, and maybe talk to the person next to you about things that you might have connected the dots on together.
Oh yeah, I mean this is why these shows are so wonderful, because at these events, you will meet fellow Ancient Aliens fans, and it's a community, so you can come together and discuss these topics. I mean, many friendships have been forged at these events, and I've heard that one or two people may even have fallen in love at these events. So, it's a wonderful place for like-minded people to come together and exchange information. It's a fostering of our community.
And then, final thing here, we hear a lot about ancient Egypt, Peru, South America, but is there any unexplored destination that you haven't necessarily gone to or researched that much that is like next on your list?
Personally, I have never been to Aksum, which is in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia, or Aksum, is a place that has in Lalibela, also in Ethiopia, where some of the largest megalithic obelisks have been created, and they're almost bigger than the ones in Egypt. And so Ethiopia is one of the last few places that I haven't been to yet. And hopefully, because Ethiopia is sometimes a bit iffy politically, so when they are more safe, then I would venture to go there. So that is one of the places that I have not gone to, and I can't wait to visit.
Awesome. Well, Giorgio, thank you so much for your time today. Ancient Aliens Live Tour.com is where you can go ahead and get all the ticket information. September 14th, the tour kicks off in Seattle and coming to the Rialto Square Theater in Joliet on November 5th. And thank you so much for your time today.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to see all of you at the theater.